So it's been a little while since I did a career-focused video, and as you guys know, if you follow along my blog or my vlogs, you know that I am pregnant right now. I'm 23 weeks pregnant, so there has been like this other side of my life that I've been focusing on, so that's why you'll see a lot of like pregnancy related videos. But I do want to still be able to provide you guys some videos and some advice on, you know, just navigating the workplace. So that's what we're going to do today. So for those of you tuning in for the first time, my name is Kayla Buell, and I'm the author of Corporate Survival Guide for Your 20s. You know, I've been blogging for like 5 years now, just sharing some of my experiences of what it's like being in the corporate world and just being at work in general. So today what I wanted to talk to you has to do with money, or raises in particular. So most organizations every year you'll have like an annual eval, and what most people look forward to are raises. You know, if you've been at your job for a year and you've been doing a really good job, then most of us, you know, first of all, just the overall cost of living goes up, and so we would like to be making some more money to be able to help pay our bills. But it's just something that we look forward to and something that we always want for our bosses to give us, right? I mean, we're being honest, we would like a raise. Obviously, if you don't deserve a raise, then your bosses should not be expected to give you one. But if you've been working hard, if you've been hustling, then it's not a crazy notion to want a raise. That being said, there are some instances where, you know, your company is not doing as great as it should, or your bosses are just being super inflexible. They don't want to give you a raise. And so today's video is all about a couple other things that maybe you can ask for when a raise is just completely off the table. So if your boss comes to you and says, look, we're not giving you any more money, we're not gonna give you a raise, we can't do it, the numbers are just not adding up. These are a couple other things that you might be able to ask for instead of a raise. So the first one is a remote working day. So I think in today's day and age, I mean, technology makes it feasible for most of us to be able to work from home. And that's awesome because it means that we can get a lot more shit done from home instead of being stuck in long commutes and things like that. But for some reason or another, it seems like there are some company owners that just don't believe in that. They feel like they need to watch their people like a hawk, which is a totally other video that I'll do another day. But at the end of the day, there are some people that, you know, they just don't really like the idea of having their employees work remotely all the time. And I can understand that. I can understand that you might not want your employees just completely gone all the time. But in those cases where you have an employee who's worked really hard, who's doing a really great job, who wants to continue to contribute, I think if you can't give that person a raise, then how about letting them work from home 1 day a week? I don't think that's asking for a lot, just 1 day a week. So in cases where your boss tells you, look, there's no more money, I can't give you anything else, try asking them if instead of, you know, more money, if maybe you can just work from home 1 day. I think that's a really nice perk, and who knows, maybe you might even value that more than, you know, a $2,000 raise. And the second thing that you could ask for is maybe modified working hours. So if you're used to having to work from 8 to 5, maybe you can kind of work something out with your employer where, you know, you come in a little later some days. So instead of 9 to 5, you work, you know, 10 to 6, or maybe you get to leave a little earlier on some days. If your boss cannot afford to give you more money, then my biggest thing is just that employers need to understand that there are other things that you can give your employees that are not necessarily just money that would make them just as happy as more money. So if your boss can't give you money, another thing that you can ask for is the ability to work on a high profile project. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, if your boss can't give you money, they can still give you the ability to just like hone in on new skills and to, you know, be given these opportunities where you can network like crazy, because really that's a specific currency in and of itself when you have like these awesome projects that you can put on your resume, because ultimately that's going to help your career too. And so again, if it's not physical cash that they can give you, then maybe they can give you the ability to work on things that will help you down the road, so that when you do end up leaving where you are, you've developed the skills and things that you'll need to land an even higher paying job somewhere else. Another thing that you could ask for is a mentor. And so when money and a raise is off the table, knowledge is never off the table, right? And that's really valuable too. So I think there's always an opportunity there where you can say, you know what, boss, okay, fine, you can't give me a raise, but how about, you know, somebody in this company mentors me, and how about I spend this next year really working with that person? And just like working on these high profile projects that I just mentioned, you know, you're developing yourself, you're developing your skills, and those kind of relationships can prove to be just as valuable as any kind of raise. And then the last thing I think that you should ask for when a raise is off the table is for your employer to pay for some of your certification courses or some professional training. So the next time that your boss flat out tells you, look, we don't have any money, I cannot give you a raise, you should negotiate. There may be something that you really want to learn that's really going to help you get to that next level in your career. But a lot of these certification courses, they can be really expensive. You know, like I don't have $500 laying around just to go to any kind of seminar training session, but your employer might. And sure, maybe they can't dish out $5,000 extra this year and bump up your salary, but they could, you know, maybe pay $500, $1,000 to get you that certification that you need, that you want. That's ultimately gonna help them out too. And a lot of times they can also write these things off when they do their taxes and stuff, when they do all their business stuff. So that might be a little bit more attractive to them than to actually give you a raise. You know, what I've found in all of my working experience is that a lot of times employers are afraid. They're afraid that if they give you $5,000 this year, then you're gonna expect $5,000 or $10,000 next year. And that eventually you're gonna reach a point where, you know, they can't keep giving you $15,000 raises every year, because then their salaries would be, you know, crazy high and they wouldn't be able to afford to employ you or anyone else. But I think it's up to us as employees, and then the employers too, to like just be receptive and to listen and to be willing to negotiate. But it's really up to us to realize that money is not the only thing that, you know, we can be asking for. If we're doing a really good job and we're producing really great quality work, if your employer wants you to stay there, there needs to be some incentive to do that. But the incentive that exists, it doesn't just have to be money. There are other things that they can provide us with that are just as valuable. And so that's why, you know, all the things that I mentioned today, those are all things that are really valuable that are not necessarily cash. So that's what I've got for you today. Again, I have a million other videos that I can do on some of these particular topics that I mentioned today, but if you guys have any experience in your current jobs asking for any of these things, or your employers being flexible with you and working with you and giving you some of these benefits, let me know, because I would love to kind of know who's got it right, who's doing it right. Give me some faith in the fact that there are some employers out there that get this, that I'm not just talking to a wall. You know, if you have asked for some of these things and you've just been flat out denied, let me know too. I would love to hear your story. So if you did like this video, I would appreciate it if you'd give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. And if you have any other career related questions, please let me know in the comments too. And you know, I'm working on a whole bunch of new videos, so I'll make sure to answer yours in one of the next ones. All right guys, we'll talk soon. Bye.